Hello and welcome. We're about to dive into some of the fundamentals of anatomy and physiology, but we're going to connect them directly to the work you do every day as an environmental health officer. And trust me, that link is a lot closer than you might think. So let's kick things off with a question. What on earth could a busy, chaotic restaurant kitchen possibly have in common with the human body? The answer? Pretty much everything. Think about it. In a kitchen, if the temperature controls fail or the sanitation procedures break down, you're heading for disaster. While the human body is exactly the same. It's an incredibly finely tuned system, and any loss of control can have really serious consequences. And you know, that idea of control, of regulation, brings us to the single most important principle for how the human body operates. That principle is called homeostasis. It's this constant, active process the body goes through to keep its internal world stable and balanced, no matter what's going on outside. The key word here is dynamic. It's not a fixed state. It's a non-stop balancing act. And this is the perfect way to visualize it. Just picture a perfectly balanced set of scales. This is the body in its default state of health, an equilibrium that it is working tirelessly to maintain every single second. So here's the crucial point, the absolute crux of it all. When that balance is lost, when those scales tip too far one way or the other, the direct result is illness. It's disease. And these are the very outcomes that your work in the community aims to prevent every single day. Okay, so how does the body actually maintain this incredible balance? Well, it all comes down to its chemical workforce. And to really get it, we need to zoom right in, all the way down to the atomic level. When you break it all down, the body is really just a collection of chemical elements. In fact, just 4 of them, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, make up over 96% of you. But the real magic isn't what we're made of. It's all about how those bits are put together. So these atoms join up in 2 main ways. Sometimes they share electrons, forming these really strong, stable connections called covalent bonds. But, and this is absolutely vital for our story, sometimes one atom will actually give an electron to another. This transfer creates particles with an electrical charge, and that charge is the key to so many of the body's functions. And you can see the difference right here. Over on the left, you've got sharing, which creates a nice, stable water molecule. But look to the right, an electron literally jumps from the sodium atom to the chlorine atom. What you're left with aren't a single stable molecule, but 2 separate electrically charged particles. We call them ions. And these charged particles, well, these are what we call electrolytes. You should think of them as the body's critical electrical messengers. They're the entire communications network, all rolled into one. So what do they actually do? The better question is, what don't they do? I mean, they manage water balance, they create the nerve signals that let you think and move, they trigger every single muscle contraction, including your heartbeat, and they keep your body's pH perfectly balanced. They are the absolute master workers of the body. And this right here is what homeostasis is all about. The body doesn't just need electrolytes, it needs them in unbelievably specific amounts. The safe operating range for these vital chemicals is just astonishingly narrow. Just take potassium, for example. The safe range in your blood is between 3.5 and 5.1 millimoles per liter. That is a tiny, tiny window. If you stray even slightly outside of that, you can have severe problems with heart rhythm and muscle function. That is the biological knife edge that homeostasis is balanced on. So, with a system that sensitive, who's the manager? What part of the body is in charge of keeping this incredibly delicate chemical balance in check? Well, the answer is the kidneys. And let me tell you, they are so much more than just a waste disposal system. Your kidneys are the master regulators. They filter your entire supply of blood about 60 times a day, making tiny, constant adjustments to keep those electrolytes in that perfect, safe range. We can boil their incredible work down to a simple 3-step process. First, they filter almost everything out of the blood, waste, water, electrolytes, the lot. Second, they measure what's there and compare it to what the body actually needs. And third, they adjust, pulling back the exact right amount of water and electrolytes and letting go of anything that's excess. It is an unbelievably sophisticated system. And this is where it all comes full circle. This brings everything we've just talked about right back to your role as an environmental health officer. Let's connect this fragile internal world to the external threats you manage every single day. So next time you're investigating a foodborne illness outbreak, remember, you're not just looking at a breach of the rules. You are on the front line of a battle for homeostasis, where a pathogen is actively trying to shatter the body's fluid and electrolyte balance, which is what leads to things like severe dehydration. When you're enforcing sanitation standards, you're doing so much more than just stopping germs from spreading. You are directly protecting people's ability to maintain their critical internal balance against outside threats that can cause their electrolyte levels to plummet. And when you investigate potential contamination, you're not just dealing with some chemical on a report. You're dealing with poisons that can directly attack the body's master regulators, the kidneys, and literally shut down their ability to maintain that vital homeostatic balance. So please remember, your job is about so much more than just enforcing rules. You are defending the most complex, finely tuned, regulated system on the planet. Every standard you uphold is a shield for this delicate internal balance. So when you head out on a visit today, just remember, you're not just an officer of the external environment. You are a guardian of the internal one.